Let's see, 20 years ago, August 27th, well, back up a week or so, um, my daughter was pregnant with her first child, and things weren't going well. She was having high blood pressure, and so she had to have bed rest. And then I get a call that they're putting Sandy into the hospital because things weren't going well. So I told my boss I didn't want to be working. I wanted to be with my daughter, and so I headed off to Missouri. I tried to pray, and I would cry, and I get there, and they're telling me they want to keep the baby in her at least one more week. The child was going to be born at least 6 weeks early. And then they made comment about that he couldn't sustain life. His lungs weren't mature enough, and so they would be putting him into the intensive care and all these things that we didn't want to happen. And they had sent the whole family home and turned off the television, turned off the lights, and I was knitting an Afghan. And so they brought me a little light, and I was knitting, and as I was knitting, I was chanting, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart." And I kept doing that, and like 2.5 hours later, I was washed with a feeling that I've never had since. And they say, that it's the feeling that passes all understanding. And I knew that everything was going to be okay. And the next day, after dinner, they said that the baby was going to be born, and I could come into the delivery room as long as if anything went wrong, I would leave immediately. So I did, and I got to stand right beside the doctor, and if he had just moved over a couple inches, I could have caught that baby. But the baby was born, given to the intensive care nurses, and they rubbed him up and presented him to his mother. And an hour and a half later, they said, maybe we should take him and give him a bath. And he went home from the hospital 2 days later. And now he's 6 feet tall and a sophomore at OU, and he loves Christ. And I'm truly joyous about this. He is very special. Well, I look at joy as that God is with me, no matter how bad the times get. That he's going to be there. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way you're supposed. It's what you think it's supposed to, but he's still there, so I'll be okay. So that's joy.